What up, Hannah? How are you?
Hi, I'm so good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. I'm just like watching your live video from like my other phone. I'm just like, oh my goodness,
Oh,
she's in it. She's in the zone.
I
I just want to listen. I just
know.
want to like sit there and just enjoy. Yeah, but it's so good to be here.
Absolutely. I'm nervous, but we're gonna be fine. There's
Oh,
people
no
on
doubt.
here and that's amazing. So look, who are
Hmm.
you?
Who am I?
Tell
That's
us
a
about
great
who
question.
you are.
All right, so I'm a content creator and a creative strategist from Sydney. And I've been living here for the last 28 years. And yeah, honestly, um, I think that's the best way to describe myself. I do a lot of other things, but we can probably delve into that maybe later on into the live and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. Okay, I've got some like light questions for you. The
Yes. Let's
beach
go.
or the mountains? I know some of the answers to this, but people don't. The beach or the mountains?
Hmm. Honestly, hands down the mountains any day. Although I love the beach as well.
Okay, that's awesome. Introvert, extrovert.
A lot of people think I'm an extrovert, but in reality, I'm an introvert. Yeah. Interesting, eh?
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Summer, winter.
Oh, flip. Um, because I didn't grow up with snow here in Australia, I always had like a really interesting fascination with snow and having like a wintry, snowy Christmas. So I would go with winter, but because I grew up with summer, I'm just so used to it as well. But winter
Yeah.
any day. You can wear like jackets and all that stuff and coats.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know that. That's cool. Um, Daytime or nighttime?
Ooh, can I choose like sunset, like dusk, or is that not an option?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Or like, yeah, that's fine. We'll
I'd
go
go
with that.
nighttime.
Yeah, that's cool. Um, Melodies or lyrics?
Ooh,
Got you. That's a good one.
yeah,
Hey.
yeah. Honestly, I'm a sucker for melodies. Where did you go?
Melody.
What
Oh,
happened to your
sorry.
melodies? No, you're right.
That's so
Um,
nice.
I would go with melodies to be honest, simply because I'm a musician first before a singer or a songwriter. So I think that's what got me into the whole like writing songs and stuff like that. It's just because melodies move people, and yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah,
So
that's
does
cool. I
rhythm.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you do? We'll get more into, you've talked about what you do, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
what does that look like in terms of like work? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
is that,
Um,
yeah.
so as of recent, I would say as of this whole coronavirus thing, I've been more on the back end of things. So I've been doing a lot of product photography,
Mhm.
all this minor brand work. So stuff to do with like graphics and did I say product photography? I did. So
Yes, you
it's
did.
all like really low key stuff. But I've
Yeah.
actually shot a few weddings within the last few weeks. So that
Oh,
was such a blessing. And I'm usually a wedding photographer and a videographer, but and um yeah, actually wait, before this whole coronavirus thing was happening, I was actually a traveling content creator. So I was actually overseas for a few months, creating content for different brands and companies for their social media and for their digital landscape of what like I don't know how to explain. I'm like fumbling my words right now. But let's just say the stuff that you see on social media from like companies and advertisements, I usually am the one behind that. Whether it's me behind the camera or or creating the advertisement campaigns or the creative strategy behind it. Yeah,
oh, that's dope. Like,
how cool is
that's
that?
incredible.
Yeah.
Like, you're a big deal. Hey.
No, no, no.
That's what they all say. That's what they all say. That's okay. Oh, I love that.
Mhm.
How did you get like,
Yeah.
into what it is that you do? Like, tell me from the
Mm,
beginning. What are the
yeah.
things you're passionate about,
Yeah.
in creativity and yeah, tell me that
Mhm.
about that.
Honestly, it all started with just when I went on my first missions trip to the Amazon in Colombia back in 2013. or was it 2014?
Mhm.
Um, I just I had a sudden fascination of documenting everything. So everywhere we went, the people that we met, the people that we ministered to, and the communities that we reached out to. Like I literally had my
Yeah.
camera with me the whole time and my notepad whenever I went back to our lodging place, and I was just writing,
Mhm.
and I was just like looking back on my photos and my videos, and then something in me like sparked in me, this whole kind of like documenting life or vlogging kind of thing. And I guess
Yeah.
that's when vlogging was only starting off as well. So after I found out about like Casey Neistat and stuff like that, I also jumped on the vlogging game, and then I vlogged for a bit. I vlogged my adventures in America and Canada and stuff like that. It's on my YouTube somewhere. It's super
Yeah.
fun. And yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
everything after that is just like a natural progression of like wanting to hone your craft, if you want to say that. Yeah.
Love that. I really
Yeah.
love that. That's so cool.
And also, on a side note,
Yeah.
that video that's playing behind me, that's one of my
Okay.
favorite YouTubers. He's called Trout and Coffee. And yeah, he's just one of
Okay.
my biggest inspirations right now. And usually when I'm working, his videos are playing behind me, like just in the background
Oh,
kind of
nice.
thing. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
just serves as
Love that.
inspiration. There you go. Yeah.
That's
So
so
if you guys
good.
want to find
I
it,
love
Trout
that.
and Coffee.
Yeah. Definitely. I need to check him out. I've never heard of him, so
100%.
that's
I'll link it to you later.
oh yeah, sure thing. Would love to check him out. Hey guys, to the people that have joined in now, we're having a chat with Luke, and so we'll keep going with that. If you guys have any questions for Luke or for myself, please
Yeah.
send them through. We'd love to answer some questions on here. So,
Mhm.
risk over regret.
Woo!
I just prefaced that before I got you on here. And so I don't want to give anything away. I just want you to share
Yeah.
freely anything you want around how that idea came about. And yeah,
Yeah.
go
Oh
ahead.
man. So risk over regret is honestly like a culmination of like the last 10 years of my life. I graduated high school back in 2009, and back then is when I started pursuing music and songwriting and the whole YouTube space kind of thing. And unfortunately, there was a fair amount of people in my life at that time who discouraged me into pursuing music and YouTube and this whole creative industry and the whole creative industry back then. And yeah, back in 2010, I just put everything aside, and then I played the safe route. Let's say that I became an audio engineer. I also picked up a camera, started doing videography
Pretty
and stuff.
safe, huh?
But
Cool.
yeah, crazy. Yeah, crazy. But honestly, like for me, videography and audio engineering back then was the safest route for me. And like, and fast forward 10 years, I feel like I'm 18 years old again. I feel like I'm pursuing that thing that I wanted to do back then that I had to put in the back
Oh
burner.
wow.
And
Wow.
I would say risk over regret was birthed out of a yearning in my heart and in my soul as well, to be able to express what I was feeling back then and then turn it into something positive and for the people around me as well. Yeah. So pretty much risk over regret
Right.
is, you can put it to anything in all honesty. Like right now, I'm gonna do a shameless plug. I'm
Go.
so I'm about to release a new series on risk over regret. It's called the Speed
Oh,
series,
cool.
and it pays
Love
homage
that.
to my roots in the car industry, because first and foremost, I love cars, I love motorcycles, anything that goes
Yeah.
fast, honestly, like I'm all in for that. So I'm about to so yeah, in a few weeks I'm about to release some winter merch. I'll show you real quickly actually.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So
please,
yeah.
please.
So it's
Oh,
that, I don't know if you can
bro.
see, kind of like that.
Love that.
And then there's different variations. There's like a white one, and then I'm kind of like wearing one of my jackets right now. It's down there. That's
Oh,
there. And then I had
nice.
something. Oh, I can't show it. It's there
Oh,
somewhere.
there you go. You can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's dope.
It's like ah. Yeah. But yeah, it's just I'm super excited to release this because it's just a passion project for me. And
Yeah.
just over the last year of me creating Risk Over Regret and the brand itself, it's turned
Yeah.
into something that I never thought it would. Because back then, and at the start of 2019, it was honestly just
Yeah.
it was just an expression of what my soul was going through that year. And
Yeah.
for people to jump on board of that vision and that heart, it's just
Yeah.
it's inspired me to keep going and try to keep innovating and seeking, yeah, further avenues for me to be able to reach people wherever they are, whether they're uninspired, whether they're stuck in a creative rut, or whether they've gone
Yeah.
through burnout like me in the creative industry. Like, my goal is to reach people wherever they are right now and just to help pick them up and then to start that race.
Wow.
Because it's the racing
I love
series.
that.
Wow.
Oh, there we go. What? You did that. You're so funny. Okay, so we'll get in a little deeper as well. What is a tangible risk that you took last year
A
that
tangible risk.
changed the, like, yeah, what did you do?
Yeah, no, definitely. Sorry, one of my screens is going all retarded. Just let me quickly fix
You're
it.
good.
Sorry
For
about
those
that.
who've joined, hey,
Whose birthday?
I'm
What?
chatting. Hmm?
Whose birthday? Happy birthday, whoever it is. What?
Oh, it's someone's birthday?
Is it? I don't know. Anyway, whoever's birthday it is today, happy birthday. Appreciate you
Happy
guys.
birthday.
But yeah, back to your question. Sorry for that weird tangent. A tangible, an example of a regret. An example of a regret.
You're killing
Sorry,
this, bro. That's
I
what
know.
we're talking about.
An example of a risk that I took last year was quitting my job. Actually, so in a sideways kind of thing, it's crazy. It's huge. I literally jumped out of my comfort zone. My comfort zone financially, my comfort zone emotionally and physically, because work for me was like very accessible to home. I didn't have to drive all the way to the city, and the money was good. I freaking love money. I don't know who doesn't, but I love money. Money's great. It helps us. It helps us out a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It does.
towards the end of last year, back towards the end of last year, I left my job. I was working for a creative agency, and I was working for them as a creative strategist and a content creator. And I was there for about 2 years. And then what happened was work was going through some financial shifting majiggers kind of thing. And unfortunately, some things lined up that I didn't really align with. So yeah, in worst case, the best case scenario was for me to step down and just leave the company. And it all came at the right time because I actually got out of a relationship around that time as well with my ex-girlfriend who moved to LA, and I was like in a weird season where I was just like, what do I want to do kind of thing. Like I thought that was my future wife kind of thing, you know, that whole like woe is me kind of thing. And one of my businesses was struggling as well, and I didn't know what to do. And yeah, it came to a climax of when it was just like, it's either you stay here and you stay stagnant, or you jump off the cliff, take a risk, and then see where it goes. But one thing that
I love what you said. It was either I stay here and be stagnant, or I jump off the cliff.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. And I think my biggest fear out of that moment or that season in time was just me failing again. Because for myself, I am an INFJ in the Myers-Briggs, and that's this whole weird thing. So an INFJ is a perfectionist at heart. They're also an advocate. Wait, aren't you an INFJ as well? Yes, you are.
I'm an advocate. Yeah. Sick, man.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. So as an INFJ, you and I both know that we don't like failing, and we're very perfectionistic in our nature, and we don't like. Yeah, and in saying that, like, when I failed back a few years ago, like around 2015, 2016, when I went through that first creative burnout, it really did leave a scar on me. And in saying that, like, it was if someone from my past came back to haunt me and saying, like, you can't do this,
Wow.
you're gonna fail again, kind of thing. So that was the biggest fear sitting in the back of my head. And I would say the second biggest fear would just be financial stability. Like, being a freelancer is one of the most exciting and also one of the most stressful things to do, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's just be real about that. But yeah, I would say those are my two biggest fears, jumping back into freelance.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool. I love that. And in that you did share some of the things you were excited about as well. So that's all good.
Yeah.
So since taking that risk, what have you rediscovered about your creativity and how has that shaped what you do today? Like, are there new things you've jumped into? Are there things I guess you never would have discovered if you hadn't like taken that risk?
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's any.
I
Hey,
was-
Jeremy.
Oh, Jeremy! I freaking love
Jeremy's
Jeremy.
fun.
What up, Jeremy?
I know.
Uh,
Love
honestly,
you,
I
bro.
would say the biggest thing for me would probably be I'm just gonna reshape the question real quick. So
Yeah.
the question was like inspiration, right? Like to do with like inspiration when you left. How do you say the question again
Not
one more
really
time?
inspiration. It's more like what are new things that you discovered about yourself or in creativity? What are new things you learned
Yeah.
ever since
Yeah.
that result of you leaving your job and taking that risk?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I found did I lose you? Oh, you're there. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you just
Mhm.
I think one of the biggest things is I found a new appreciation for vulnerability. Because for myself, being an introvert, like I don't really like being vulnerable with people to a degree. Like, yes, I can invite people into my business. I can invite people into like my social life and whatnot. But when it comes to the like the nitty gritty deep stuff, like when it comes to like
Yeah.
my soul and like what I long for in life, like not many people go into that depth with me. And coming out of full-time work and going back into freelancing, it's just finding that right community of people and specific people in different areas of your life to be able to be
Yeah.
vulnerable with. And
Yeah.
once you're being vulnerable, like it opens up opportunities for more growth in like whatever area in life, kind of thing, whether it's like just business ventures and stuff like that. But I would say
Yeah.
I would say for me it'll be vulnerability. Like it's so simple, honestly, super simple. But coming from a background of being a perfectionist, like I ain't about that vulnerability, you know. just being
True.
real.
But I feel like that's everything because when people know you and know your heart and then like they know that you're creating from a place that is very tangible and a genuine place and that they're able to come on board and support you even more, so that's everything.
100%. You said it perfectly.
So I was reading today this quote from Atmos at his highest, and it said, inspiration is when we're in the highest, and insight is understanding our daily duty, whether we feel inspired or not. And I thought that blew my mind.
That's an amazing.
And it is true. And so with that, like, how have you navigated and found balance through the high moments of inspiration versus having insight of your daily duty to just go out there and create more content? What has that looked like for you in this season or generally?
I would say for me, and my one's probably a very weird thing if once you hear it. It's me being the best and worst critic of myself. And when I say that, when I say being the best and worst critic, is that technically the only thing stopping me from releasing my creative work or doing a good or a bad job is my critique
Yeah.
level of myself in that moment or on that project.
Yeah.
And for me, like right now in this season, like I could honestly sit in my office or my room all day and just like critique my work that I'm editing right now. But in all
Yeah.
honesty, like, nothing's gonna get released. That's why I've shown myself a lot more grace this season and a lot more understanding to be able to release projects that will be coming out very soon. And yeah, it's just that. It's just showing myself being less, what's that word? Being less critical.
Yeah. There you
Being
go.
less critical of myself. And
Yeah.
honestly, I would say I have the highest standards of myself. It's just it's a good and a bad thing, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
understand you.
yeah, if you
Advocates.
understand me. Like I
Yeah.
have my expectations of myself is like up here, and like other people's expectations is down here. So
Yeah.
if I don't reach my own expectations, like I kick myself in the butt, and I'm just
Exactly.
like Luke,
Sometimes that. Yeah.
leave something. Yeah, you know what I
And
mean?
sometimes that could be the very thing that stops you because they're like, it's not there yet. So
Yeah,
like, I'm not happy with my own work.
I know.
I need to
So
just let it
true.
go.
Yeah,
I need to let it go. I
yeah,
love that. I really, really love
yeah.
that. So we're gonna wrap it up soon.
Tui.
So what would you say is the importance of embodying the idea of taking risks in our creativity and
Mm,
actually embodying it not just as every Friday coming and meeting on here and talking about the risk, not
yeah,
just a one-time high thing where you're like, oh, the risk,
yeah,
but I found that it's a daily thing we need to actually remind ourselves in as
yeah,
creatives. So
yeah.
for you, like, how would you encourage other people? Like, what's the importance
Yeah,
in?
no doubt. The importance of pretty much for me, the importance of taking a risk, it's as essential as making those daily choices. Wait, what? That made no sense. Making making those essential choices every day to function in life, kind of thing. Whether it's like waking
Yeah,
up and deciding to wear this white shirt, whether it's you deciding to go to the groceries and picking up food to eat.
yeah,
When it comes to risk and the creative world, like
yeah.
those two things should honestly be melded into one thing, because without
Wow.
taking a risk, no one is going to be creative. Like you can't, no one's going to think outside that box. No one is going to draw those, no one's going to draw random colors in, you know what I mean? And
I know.
it's as simple as that. It's as simple
Yeah.
as that. Like when people ask me for like, it's like when people ask me for advice on taking risks and stuff, I just ask the one thing that I ask them is what, like I ask them first is who inspires you the most, and then
Mm,
once they tell me that person, I ask them what's that favorite quality that they like in that person, and then if they say that
wow.
quality is their vibrant personality, then
Mm,
I tell them to go document or go analyze that person's vibrant personality, and then
wow.
translate that into an art form, whether that's drawing, whether that's taking a photo, which by the way, your photography is like getting up there. It's freaking amazing.
Thanks,
Yeah.
bro.
And like
Thanks.
honestly, you just started. You literally just
I
started. Crazy.
that was
Like
a risk I took, guys.
it's crazy.
Yeah. Thank you.
But
I mean,
yeah, honestly, like it's as simple as that. Like it's a choice. Um
I love
like
that.
I know the word risk sounds very edgy,
Hmm.
and very like uh defensive in a way. But in all
Yeah.
honesty, once you change the perspective to just a choice, then it just becomes easy. You know what I mean?
Wow. Wow. That's really good.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that. So thanks so much, Luke, for
No.
coming on here and chatting about this. I'm so excited for the episodes ahead, and it was good to have you on. So guys, go check out. How can people find you? Let's start
Oh
there.
man. They can pretty much my name, Luke Genesis, is everywhere on plastered on social media. So if you put Luke Genesis in anywhere, you'll find one of my one of my social media handles, and then yeah, that's about it.
Yeah,
I've also
that's
been
cool.
collaborating with a few other people, but you'll see that very soon, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. Go to Luke Genesis, and then you'll find everything, all the many
Yeah,
things that he does on there.
you'll find
You
everything
find
there.
YouTube channels, you find music, you find so much.
Yeah.
He won't disappoint. Absolutely not. So if you guys have any questions, lastly, please send them through. I did see someone comment on here. I don't know if it was a question. I'm allergic to vulnerability. That was Rachel Ross. Girl.
That's hilarious.
Um,
I honestly can't read the comments because I'm not wearing my glasses, so I'm
yeah,
leaving that to
that's
you.
cool. That's why I wore mine too. Oh, can you save this live? So yes, I will save this and I will share it. Are there any questions going once? Let's see who's on here. Do you guys have any questions for me? It could be literally anything, or for Luke. If not, we will wrap it up, and I'll tell you guys the 2 surprises in store. Wait. Okay. Next week, guys. Next week. I am having a friend of mine. He is called Isaiah. Okay. So this is what he does. He's a photographer in California. He is killing it in the game. Fashion photographer, artist photographer. He is killing it. So there will be a video about a promo video, and you'll get to see his art. And so you guys should be pumped about that because he's actually amazing. So I can't wait to get to talk to him about that. Someone on here said, how do you get remote gigs? Like freelance? Is that more like how do you put yourself out there? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna assume remote gigs means like traveling overseas and working with various companies.
Yeah.
So how I did it was I worked with various agencies back here in Sydney, like over the years, and then just created my portfolio with them. And then, for example, if one of the marketing team members moves overseas to a different office, and you have a rapport and a relationship with that person, and that person likes you, then more often than not, that person will try to reach out to you and bring you to the office abroad kind of thing. So that's it I can say it. Also, because I've traveled a lot as well, I've just met a lot of creative people abroad. And like some people I've traveled with in America and America and Canada. And they have businesses and companies over there, and they just reach out to me. It's like, hey, can we fly you over to do a few photo shoots and videos for us? And it just goes on like that. And it's just crazy. It's just, I'm just very blessed to be able to do that. That's all.
Yeah, that is a blessing for sure. Okay, so we'll actually wrap it up. Thanks so much for being on here. If you guys stay, I will tell you what the other surprise is, but we'll say bye to Luke.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you guys soon.
Love you all. See you next week on Friday with our chat with Isaiah. Can't wait. So, bye.